Hey guys, it's Marvi and welcome to my booktube channel. Yay! I'm so happy to finally film this video and start this channel. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while now. I have a channel where I talk about beauty products, makeup products, skincare products. I do a lot of empties videos and reviews and hauls on that channel. I love that channel. I've been posting there for several years now. I think like 3.5 years. I've been posting on that channel, and again, I have very little subscribers. This is just something I do for fun. But I recently gotten into reading, and yeah, I never used to read for fun. I mentioned this in my other video on that channel, but I have a law degree. I'm a lawyer, so the reading is not something I did for fun. It was something that I just did not derive pleasure from at all. It felt like a chore. It felt like a task, even though when I was little, I did enjoy reading. So now that I'm past all that, I have been reading for fun, and I'm having such a good time. I'm really enjoying myself. But again, I don't have a lot of time. I do work a full-time corporate job. And so I just don't have a lot of time to read 30 books a month or whatever. So that's not what this channel is going to be. I'm just going to do my best to talk about the books I am reading, make realistic TBRs, make realistic goals for reading, and really just dedicate time to what I'm reading instead of just listening to a book at 3 times speed just to say I read it, or, speed reading or skipping, or I actually dive deep into the books because I'm not reading that many that often. So yeah. So if you like that kind of content, please like this video. Please consider subscribing. I would really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I wanted to start off with a bang. I'm very excited about this book that I just finished called Heartless Hunter. One more thing I should mention is because I don't have a lot of time, what I have to do when I choose my books is I do rely heavily on booktube reviews. I watch a lot of booktube. There's a lot of booktubers that I like that kind of inspired me to start this channel. And, I go based off reviews a lot. I do pick popular books, books that are trending. I'm not on booktok because I just haven't been on TikTok for like a year because, oh God, I do not have enough time for that. But I do watch a lot of booktube videos. So whenever a book is trending or people are talking about it, that's usually when I get excited about a book, because I just simply don't have the time to research and, find my own and go down rabbit holes and figure out. So that's one part of the reason. The second part of the reason is I don't really know what I'm into yet because I just started reading for fun. And so I'm trying to go based off the kind of entertainment I like. I like, fantasy shows and movies. I love stuff like that. I like, kind of escaping out of the real world and going into a new world. And I do like romance too. So I do like, fantasy romance books. I have been reading a little bit of romance books, and I have been enjoying those as well. So I think that's kind of like my niche, I mean, it's not even a niche anymore, but that's basically the genres I like: fantasy, romance, romantasy, if you will. I am a little bit interested in thrillers and mystery thrillers. I do have a few books that are in that genre. So yeah, so that's kind of the style and the vibe. I have to dip my toes into some other genres to see, if I like it. So I'm still kind of exploring what I like as far as genre is concerned, and I'm going to be talking about books that are rather popular and also backlist, because what's happening is I'm getting interested in picking up books that are kind of older, that came out in 2024 or 2023 or 2022 or even older than that are still being talked about, but they're older. And so a lot of my reviews are going to be on older books. I'm going to do my best to keep up with the current releases, but just keep that in mind. So with that all being said, I'm going to be reviewing Heartless Hunter, which I just finished last night. This was such a good book. I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. I really, really enjoyed it. This is the first book that I have been reading for fun that I've given 5 stars. So I have also read The Cruel Prince, which is which came out a long time ago, I think in 2018. I did not enjoy it very much. I gave it like 3 stars. I was so bored. I did not like it. I read Spark of the Everflame in November. I really liked that book too. I gave it, I think, 4 stars. But it didn't quite hit the mark the way this one did. So Heartless Hunter, 5 stars. I loved it. It was everything I wanted in a book. It had enemies to lovers. It had this like love triangle thing. It had this like cat and mouse game. It had high stakes. There wasn't a lot of downtime in between what was happening. The writing was very good. It was very descriptive. And what I liked about it is I totally could see and understand the world that they lived in, but the author did not spend a lot of time world building. So it was perfect because for me, the world building, like, I mean, I understand that a picture has to be painted, but when an author can do it without spending so much like downtime just laying the setting, I can appreciate that because like I said, I don't have a lot of time. Just get to the point. Those are the kind of books I like. I like, fast-paced books that keep you like on your toes and you're like, you want to keep reading because something is happening, right? So that's how this book was. I understood the world. The world was easy to grasp. Their dynamic was easy to grasp, and the stakes were very easy to understand and grasp, which I appreciated. So what is this book about? I mean, this book is older, so I'm sure you guys already know, but it's about a witch who is living in a society where witches are basically outlawed. They're slaughtered, they're killed. They used to be in power, but they're not anymore. And she is best friends with this one girl and this guy named Alex. And Alex's brother, his name is Gideon. He is a witch hunter. He's the captain of like the Blood Guard or something, and they are like witch hunters. So Gideon has been hunting this specific witch that everyone calls the Crimson Moth for like 2 years now. And this Crimson Moth, she basically is rescuing all the witches that he has been arresting and rounding up. And she's just always one step ahead of him and he can't capture her. So he's like on a mission to capture the Crimson Moth. This girl is the Crimson Moth. And she basically lives a double life. She's like this rich, ditzy socialite that, basically she's pretending and putting up this front that she just doesn't care about anything. She's just like a, ditzy socialite, living her best life, running around parties and whatnot. But in reality, she's the Crimson Moth and she has to be very strategic to try and save all these witches from being basically slaughtered. So she ends up coming up with a plot to court Gideon because he's the captain of the Blood Guard, and if she can extract information from him, it would be to her benefit to court him and whatever. So she's attempting to do that, and Gideon kind of suspects her being the Crimson Moth, so then he tries to court her to try and figure out if she really is the Crimson Moth or not. And so they're both kind of courting each other and pretending to date each other to get information out of one another. And they're both kind of like failing at it. Like she tries to like outwit him and she can't really. And then he tries to like catch her in the act, but he can't really. And, there's just a lot of things that happen where they almost catch each other like in the act or the true intentions, and they just can't. Eventually, they're courting each other, there's feelings that are involved and things like that. But it's very sticky and it's very messy because she is best friends with Gideon's brother, Alex. And Alex knows she's a witch hunter and helps her. So there's the love triangle angle. There's just a lot of stuff going on. It has the last like 5-6 chapters were insane. Again, that's not to say that the rest of the book was like boring, because it was far from it. It was action-packed and each chapter there's something happening. But the last few chapters, wow, I was like shocked. Last night I was like, oh my God, like I couldn't finish. I had to finish the book because I just couldn't believe it. So very good book. It has everything I wanted. It had like an alternate like fantasy It had like high stakes, romance, you know, and it's not a happy ever after. Again, the new book comes out, the second book to this series comes out February 18th. It's called The Rebel Witch. I'm so excited for it. That's the main reason I wanted to talk about this book. And one other thing I want to say is I feel kind of grateful that I'm coming into the game a little bit late, because people read this book like a year ago and have been sitting around waiting for the second book to come out for like a year. And I don't have to wait very long. I have to wait like 2 weeks because the book comes out in 2 weeks. And I just finished this book. So in that regard, I think I'm kind of lucky because I don't really like to wait that much, because I will lose interest. I will forget what happens. And so I think that this is just kind of perfect. So I really enjoyed this book, 5 stars. I cannot wait for Rebel Witch. I'm so excited to pick it up. I'm going to run to Barnes & Noble the day it comes out. So yeah, so if you would like to see a review of Rebel Witch, please subscribe to this channel and like this video. Let me know down below what you think about this book, if you've read it. Also, let me know if you would like reviews of Sparkle the Everflame and Cruel Prince. If you don't, that's fine too. We can just take it from here and go forward. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to start this journey with you guys, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.